all right.
I'm just delaying everything tonight.
No, you're all right. All right, let's call a meeting to order, December 8th, 2022 at 6:48. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approve the minutes of the prior meetings. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the October 20th executive session,
So moved.
the October 28th board meeting, and the November 17th special district meeting, and the November 30th classification hearing?
So moved.
Second, sorry.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The reading of the correspondence, efficiency and regionalization grant program. November 30th, 2022, dear Select Board Chair Leonard Hull. It's with great pleasure that we inform you that the town of Dighton has been awarded a $90,000 grant through the Community Compact Cabinet's Efficiency and Regionalization (ENR) grant program. Once again, this grant program for fiscal 2023 was highly competitive. Your application was chosen because it's clearly met the program's overachieving goal of driving the implementation of regionalization and other efficiency initiatives to allow for a long-term sustainability. We will be holding an award ceremony on December 6th at the State House and hope you can join us. An invitation for the award ceremony and specific details is included in the same email as this award notification. We look forward to seeing you on the 6th. Congratulations on participating in the ENR grant program and other Community Compact Cabinets programs focused on best practices and IT initiatives, as these programs all help municipalities spur continued success. We are pleased to see the communities taking advantage of the benefits of the Community Compact Cabinet program offers. Attached are the grant documents that must be completed to ensure the funds are delivered to your community. This documentation should be sent to Jennifer McAllister at the Division of Local Services as soon as possible, but no later than January 15th, 2023. Sincerely, Karen
Polito.
Lieutenant Governor.
Who fills this out?
The town, I
The town
would
does.
say, is their grant.
All right. That's good.
Fiscal conditions, operating budget to actual balances. Income for the first 5 months of fiscal 2023 is $1,907,939, with expenses at $1,943,014, which is 70% of our budgeted expenses. Outstanding water receivables as of November 30th is $86,077. Month's commitments were $6,056, and water receivables for the month were $33,437. Is there a motion to accept the financial reports as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Is there a motion to approve the expenditure warrants as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The superintendent's report, old business, the Somerset Well Brook Street.
So this here, this Word and Kern memo, this is the report from the Brook Street well, correct?
Yes.
Just from the quality standpoint. I have not dove into it, but just skimming over it, looks pretty good.
So, with the purchase of the well, there is some PFAS levels in the well
Okay.
that, as of right now, is not a concern as far as the amount. But we want to make sure that with the purchase of the well, because it's going directly into our system, that we have to make sure that those levels stay low.
Stay low. Okay.
Because obviously if we buy the well and we can't use it, then that's not a good purchase.
So we did the PFAS, right? Yeah, we did the PFAS.
Right,
They let you do the PFAS?
Yeah.
right, well, Somerset already does it.
Okay.
So what I did this week was talk to Scott over at Woodard and Curran,
Mhm.
and want a preliminary report of the findings and also a cost if we do have to put PFAS,
It's
filtration in.
filtration, yeah, not containment.
So that way we know. So let's just say that we buy the well and in 5 years then it fails PFAS and that we can't use it. Obviously then we have to put a filtration system in up there to treat it so that way we can use it again.
Right.
Because the water is not gonna be sent to the treatment plant.
Oh,
That water's so good that we can put it right into our
The
system.
water quality is good, but it's the PFAS that the
Right.
state is mandating and they keep lowering the number.
oh,
It's a problem with a lot of towns are facing.
now what causes it?
Teflon. Teflon pans, Teflon, everything is
How does it
Teflon.
get into the water? I mean,
There's just so much of it out there in the world now.
There's a great documentary, by the way,
Yeah,
about it.
On Netflix,
Yep.
I know, I've seen
oh
it.
yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, the question being, when was the last PFAS test that they did?
October
Of this year?
21, they said 4 samples were collected from April 21 to October 21.
Do we wanna do a third? I would, who did that? Woodard and Kern?
Yes.
It was, no, because it says Somerset Water Department issued the following observations were summarized.
So if you right here, the discussion.
On this page, sorry.
So he's gonna just come up with a plan of attack, you know, in case this does materialize.
Well, I mean, that's fine, that's good. I would, if Woodard and Kern didn't do the test for Somerset when they were doing the PFAS, I would probably wanna do a third-party independent test for the PFAS. I don't know how expensive are they, do we know? How expensive was ours when we did it? Do you know?
15,000?
Yeah, it was expensive, the
Alright.
original.
I would feel comfortable, we're just covering all of our bases, you know, to do another third-party testing of the PFAS. If Woodard and Kern didn't do it.
Are they gonna let you guys do that?
I don't know.
I can talk to Paul.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're hiding anything.
Yeah, we're just doing our due diligence, just like when I go buy a property, the owners let me do.
That's why I couldn't understand why
Yeah.
they wouldn't let you do the other test.
What test was that?
When the EPA required, what was it? The one that was voted, you know, tabled at the town meeting.
Well, it's not that they didn't allow us to do it. We've already done all that. They've done I'll find out exactly what steps we're at as far as that water quality test.
It's just something to think about, we don't have to.
Yeah, we can talk to Scott about
yeah.
what's,
Yeah, it's just an
obviously,
idea.
this all has to be planned out before we sign on the dotted line.
Absolutely, yeah, that's,
So-
yeah, no, I agree. So, was there any movement from that perspective then?
Well, he didn't come back, no, he didn't come back as far as, Scott's gonna work on what the cost is to treat it,
Mhm.
if it gets that bad.
Gotcha.
Where it's below the minimum now. So, that kinda ends that.
Okay.
Alright. The MIU repair update, we've done 559 completed. Doing some setup as far as the January, February. The Main Street Water Main project. I mean, they're down up to Buck Plain right now. It's going smooth.
No, the roads aren't smooth,
I talked to, so I went up there today.
it's awful. Like, I almost called you the other night when I was driving, I was like, we gotta do something about this.
I did today.
Okay, thanks for telling me.
Alright.
But we covered that in the first 45 minutes.
Well played, you
See?
win. Well played.
Alright, so they're down to Buck Plain.
Yep.
They had some problems with passing the chlorination test, so they've been chlorinating the pipe.
Okay.
Once they pass the 24-hour and the 48-hour, they can start changing some of the services over at the top of William Street in Maine.
Okay.
And they're gonna start working their way down. So they're doing it in phases, phase 1, phase 2. phase 3 is around Greg Olson's house. So they're gonna stop.
Can they do that right through the winter?
No, but they're gonna try, they can push as long as they can, depending on the frost level. If they don't get a big frost, they're gonna keep going.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So that's their plan of attack. If they can dig through the frost, they're gonna keep going. Because they want water movement now through the new main. So as long as when they pass the 48 hour, they're gonna start redoing the surfaces, starting on William Street, working their way down the hill. Because they have to redig the road for the services, that's the reason why they didn't want to top coat that last half an inch, 3/4 of an inch.
okay.
Because they're gonna be digging up every single old service to replace it with the new.
Will they top coat once the frost comes?
They're gonna top coat once they, so if they do 100 feet, they're gonna stop top coating up to the top of the road. When I talked to C. Norton today, the owner Phil, if they can't get any of the services done, just for, let's say that they don't do any of the services, he said that he's gonna top coat before Christmas
Yeah.
what they've already done.
Alright.
Because of Christmas and New Year's and all
Yeah.
that, he's not gonna take a chance of leaving it like that the rest of the winter.
No, that's good to hear, because South Berry didn't think that would happen, so this is.
So, well, that was because I talked to him this morning, when I was down there today having a discussion that people are driving on the wrong side of the road and,
Yeah.
you know, and all sorts of stuff, so.
Guilty.
Right, so, because I had a couple complaints from people,
Yeah.
so that's what Phil's plan of attack is as far as today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
They're headed, they're moving pretty good.
Oh, yeah, no, they're moving right along, right.
They're smoking it, yeah.
Now, when you start doing the service connections, is there anything the residents should know about?
No.
They'll be without water
For the day, or not even a whole day, because they're gonna have a whole crew doing services, so they're not gonna, maybe let's say one day, 8 hours, they're gonna, but they only work till 3 o'clock, so 4 o'clock, so they have to be done by then, so.
But we should notify the tenants, the residents.
Oh, I'm sure they,
Yeah.
They let them know, they
Yeah.
tag them the day before I go to the door.
Okay, good, alright, good.
so it seems like everything's kinda like going,
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
right, so we straightened out the whole hydrant situation, the hydrant's going back to 500 feet.
Okay.
That first culvert crossing where they stopped,
Yep,
we're not going underneath anymore, everybody know about that, we're gonna go around it and then back in.
okay,
I just talked to Zach a half an hour ago, and he's going to be submitting that to the town, I think, for the changes, because they have to change the design.
Okay.
Of that, but that's all on their end. So, other than that, was that, the hydrants, the people, they move right along. So Environmental Protection Agency, C1 replacement well. Environmental Partners, right?
I don't know where that came from.
All right, so that was that change, right, that we have to
Yeah.
amend.
If anyone has a problem, like for medical reasons about partial stopping of service, should they call you? What do you want?
I mean, it's gonna be tough if it's the long side of the street, because you can't run temporary. I mean, we could run temporary to the short side, but,
Right, okay.
I mean, we're gonna have to take that chance, I guess. I mean, short side,
yeah,
I don't know how many people would be an issue with it.
there's not that many houses on that side, 20,
Yeah.
From
And I don't-
Williams to
I don't
Greg's.
even think it's gonna be that long of a,
right?
I thought originally it was only like half an hour.
Throw the dice and see what happens.
I wanna say, cause all they're doing is just putting a new tap in, right?
I don't know if they run on plastic over to the other side. I don't know. I'm not 100%
We thought,
sure.
we can find out. I don't wanna, yeah, I don't wanna take those chances, that's the thing,
Next Tuesday.
yeah,
Another meeting, okay.
we'll find out.
All right, so you went over this with Chuck as far as environmental partners, Jason, right? So we actually abide by their contract.
So we're bound by their contract language, specifically, the part where they're not responsible for any delays due to governmental regulation or agencies, and that's what the PFAS test is. So we have to, they are within their right, to come back and ask for that money for the delays. which is something we can take a look at on our next contracts, because that's missed. We can, I deal with that one all the time. But the other part was the SCADA. He gave me a price. I got it yesterday, I believe, and my phone is out in my car.
I think you have some.
Okay.
You have some here?
Is that the whole one?
Yeah, there's two sections, front and end. It might be the second section.
So I asked him to give me a breakout of the SCADA costs, and I asked him how much money he was marking it up and how much money he was making. I don't think is it in here?
There's another.
Oh, here it
That's
is.
the last page.
So harbor controls, it was 26,000. And then I think he was marking it up 15%, so that was in line with this industry standard, basically. He recommended, and I know you and I had talked or discussed about having, what was the name of the company?
Electric, you mean?
Yeah.
Paul St. George?
Yeah, to do it, maybe save a couple dollars. He recommended not doing it, Chuck did, because of the integration, and doing the coordination with the plant and everything like that. And he goes, if you did it independently, I would have to increase my price on the labor side to help coordinate all that. So I don't know how much we would really be saving at the end of the day. At least he gave me the price. I have the price here, and I see what his markup is, and it's legit. And it doesn't sound like if we did go our route, we would only save $1,000 or $2 maybe, $1,000 or $2,000, give or take. So that's all I have. I mean, I wish I had better news than that, but
All right.
less headaches. Just have Woodard and Kern, environmental partners, just do it, and it is what it is. There's no magic.
Yeah, the only thing that we want, did you ask him for a set of plans?
Yes, I did. He said he was gonna drop them off.
Okay.
Has he not dropped them off yet?
No.
Okay.
All right, so before that we do anything as far as the work, we
Yep.
have Woodard and Carn just look over everything,
Yep.
and have Greg, we'll all sit down one day and just kind of go over everything.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm, go ahead.
No, because there's tie-ins and stuff as far as the water main and stuff, so we need to make sure that that's all, flow numbers and all that stuff has to be
Yeah.
right. So we don't run into what we ran into on Main Street.
I mean, if I was saving $10,000,
No, I hear you.
I would do it, but if I'm saving $2,000, it's not,
Right.
it's not worth the aggravation.
Right.
All right,
honestly.
so is there a motion to accept the contract amendment 1 for the task order 2020-44 for engineering and supplemental services in connection with the Cedar Street Well 1A replacement project?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. All right, so we have to sign this or anything?
What's the name of that company?
Environmental partners. Yeah.
So they could be the engineer on it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
Now, this is the replacement well,
Right.
at Cedar, okay.
So it's environmental partners?
Mhm.
Yes. Superintendent's posting, anybody hit on that at all, Tina?
I'm sorry, what?
The superintendent's position?
I haven't, nobody inquired.
Okay.
Where do we post that?
Plymouth County Water Works and New England Water Works.
Is that where we typically
That's where I had done it last time.
Are there any other places we can post it? I know
Yeah.
Chuck said he was gonna get me a list of names too.
Okay.
Talk to him.
But, I mean, I can put it in the paper.
Let's put it in the paper.
See if American Water Works maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's try to broaden the search a little bit more.
Okay.
And then hopefully Chuck comes through with a couple guys. He said he had a couple guys.
Okay.
All right, the AT&T antenna lease, the Elm Street tank. We had a couple options here as far as the tank on Elm Street. as far as the antenna. Matt looked it over, and, so this office input on document from AT&T MD7 as follows. We agree that option 1 is the best option. It provides a significant greater financial benefit over the time frame than option 2 and 3. Additionally, state law generally limits lease terms with municipalities to 20 years, and option 1 complies with that standard. As the other terms of the AT&T wants to include on the next lease, the expansion of permitted use language to modify the types of technology, the termination clause, and the right of refusal. When this new lease is entered into effect in 2024, probably will have other new terms compared to the present lease. We suggest that the entire lease agreement will need to be reviewed at the time to determine if other changes are being proposed, and that the board should be aware of and seek revisions. So, obviously, we should probably go with the option 1.
We always do.
So, all right, so.
Like we always
Make a motion on this, or anything, or, yeah,
It's not the final one, so I
Okay.
can send it to.
okay, so we'll go with option 1.
Yeah, option 1.
You can make a motion to go with option 1, and then there will be more. Gotta say considerations to do
All right, so we'll make a motion to accept, option 1 on the AT&T lease agreement.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
You guys have it.
Yes, this is signing for the amendment for the environmental partners.
All right, new business, the opening end of the Massasoit Road.
Oh, interesting. What's the scoop with that?
They didn't show
They were
up.
supposed to come
They were supposed to come, but they didn't show, so.
Who? Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
So, well, hold on, what's the scoop? What's the scoop with it?
I don't know, it's still mad, huh?
Well, there are two things. One, to gain access to do some well bores. I believe Jeff had given permission to widen a path,
Oh, yeah, he was asking who initiated that, right?
and they
The meeting.
widened it to the point that you could drive a pickup truck down there with a trailer on it, and they could go partying, serious.
They did all,
Four-wheeled it
they
up.
did all that stuff before, they took trucks down to, yes, we widened it, agreed. We had, but that, there were trucks and they were doing all that stuff before that was even widened. But yes, we did widen it, correct.
So Tim had brought it to our attention and was hoping something could be done. I got pushed back from the Board of Selectmen about the town putting in the gate, so then he had turned to the water district. So his argument was, since you guys put the road in, cut the road in, you created the problem, you should fix it. Okay, but now, you've got a developer coming in. So, I don't know if it's a good idea to get into that, because that might be a moot point.
So right now,
You got a road there, that was an easement, right? Or you own that land? Where that path was widened to get down to where you did the test.
Well, I understand they're going off of Massasoit Road, which they don't, what, you, association, I mean you, but I'm saying, if the road ends with the cul-de-sac, what
we
you
own, the council owns a sliver of that
Right.
land going to
It's a
that
sliver.
paper
It's
road.
not a big piece.
It's about as wide as this table.
Right.
Okay, but so if the trees were on the other side of that sliver that we cut down, they still don't own the trees that we cut down.
No,
Right.
Rebello owns that.
Rebella.
So how can they even justify what we did on Rebel's land?
Well, it created a problem where people had access to go down the back.
They've
So
always
on-
had, they've
But if
always had.
Rebello cut down all the trees there instead of us, what's the difference? I'm not saying this to you, but I'm just trying to,
Well, if
now I'm trying to
Rebello
just,
had
No,
made-
nothing, because then they'd
Nothing.
just be asking him to.
Right, they'd be
Plant the
asking
trees.
him.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, this may all change with Rebello's development. Because that sliver will remain, but there may be, who knows what Rebello's gonna put there, he's not gonna put a
So-
road there.
So, I'll just ask a question, and please stop me, because you guys tell me I talk too much. All right, so Council Oak, so what I'm understanding is the association land, let's just say it's an 8-foot piece of land. And it goes from the cul-de-sac to
It's
there.
width of this,
Yeah.
it's like this table,
Yeah.
big enough to put a gate on.
And we
That's it.
cut down trees on Rebello's land.
And cut a, and widen the path, I mean, it was a path.
Okay, so do I go to Mr. Rebello and say, I'm gonna plant 2 trees on your land, even though that you might cut them down, to shorten shorten the span of that road, that's his land, that we got permission to cut his trees down, and they're mad at us? This is making no sense, now I'm getting aggravated. Because we didn't even touch any land, yes, we drove through it, but if we cut trees on Rebello's land, how can they have any say what we do, what anybody does on Rebello's land?
They would need to reach out, the town had required them to reach out to Rebello, because it would in essence,
Would you
Yes.
like me to do that?
no. All they were looking for the water district was to pay for the gate.
Yeah, but I thought this whole gate thing was the liability if someone gets
No,
trapped in the gate.
there's no liability. The fire department, I was at that meeting. The fire department doesn't care regardless, whatever we do there. They have no say, no worries, nothing
Right.
with that.
I think the best thing to do is just to talk to Mr. Rebello about it. I mean, if we cut 2 trees down to widen it, and I plant 2 trees, and he's happy and we're happy, what does it matter?
He's not talking about just here, right? He's talking about that whole paper that was
That's
down
not
this
his
way.
land, that's
I understand that.
Yeah, well, like you just said, if he does that development which he wants, which,
Right, it could be a whole tree line he puts there, and then it's a moot point.
But, well, it's still a moot point, because even if we do anything here now, right, say we went in there, I think at the time it was, we had talked to Jeff about it, he's like, all right, we can go, fine, we'll put in $1,000 gate, right, just to be nice. And then then we were like, well, we're not gonna do that until we get approval from the Council Oak Board,
Right,
and
and
we
Rebello.
do not have, I don't need anything from Rebello.
And then there wasn't a
Right.
board, right?
Well, yes, according to the town, because we were blocking an access point,
Because they would go out to Milk Street and use that as the access point. That's where their access point is now, out on Milk Street. This here, I can put the gate on there from the Council Oak perspective and not have to worry about Rebello, because he has his access point out here. So we were like, okay, well, we'll show good faith, we'll put a gate in or whatever we decide to put in. But we can't do anything until Council Oak Board approves something,
right,
and they fight like a bunch of children,
yes,
and they can't come up with a solution.
right.
So Tim, I wish he was here, and I can go talk to him, because he's lives 2 houses down from me. If his board would approve something, I'll sit there and I'm sure we can talk about it in good faith, spend $1,000 and put something up there. But I can't do anything, or we can't do anything, until we get permission from the Council Oak Board,
Right.
which we do not have.
Right.
And it's been like that for 6 months now, because they go back and forth like a bunch of kids.
Yep.
So,
but doesn't this gate have to go on Council Oak land? We can't put a gate on Rebello's land.
no, we're not putting anything on Rebello's land, we're putting it on the Council Oak land.
Right, on that sliver
A
of.
gate or rocks or whatever,
Right.
who knows what it's gonna be or what it can be. But,
But it might, you know, like I said, Rebello may,
Well, I understand it might change all that,
yeah.
but I just didn't
Before
know
you
if,
guys spend money,
but I just didn't know if the Council Oak land was all open and we cut trees back here, putting a gate on Council Oak land, if it's not even where we cut the trees, all they're gonna do is drive around the gate, right?
no, they
I'd have to see.
they won't, right?
it's all trees on both sides.
They won't. But here, and another moot point is, right, we can do this, which is good, it prevents the trucks from going in there and the dirt bikes from going in there and all that, it's safety stuff, right? But then if you go down this paper road, where they went in and did all their perk tests, they went through the field and knocked that whole brush line down, so now they go screaming past my house and the trucks and everything, and they still go back in there through the field now. Because this whole brush line is all cut open and,
Is it now?
yeah, it's
Because it's
wide
the
open.
end of the other street.
Yeah,
No.
no,
Well,
so,
there's that, but there's a little access road.
there's a little access road that goes, you know, the access road that goes up to Council Oak?
To the actual.
So that road there, so then they cut through the field, and they cut through that brush line and still go back in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what,
It still goes back there.
they still go back.
Yeah.
There's
Doesn't
kind of
matter.
other means of going back.
It's just, now there's another way, because Rebello cut all that land out when they went back and did all the perk tests. And it just opened up another avenue, so now there's more. I mean, it is what it is. I would tell Tim that if they want us to put something there, tell them to vote on it with the council of board. I don't want any part of it, of the council of board, but if the members wanna vote on it, and we'll extend a goodwill gesture and put something there if we have to. Small dollars, I'm not worried about it.
It's even, actually, it's less than $1,000.
Yeah, it's, yeah, so.
Alright. So do we wanna get a hold of Tim, or do you wanna?
I can reach out to Tim.
Do that, right? I can walk down next door and talk to him.
He's a neighbor, so we'll get the word to him. And like you said, that, like Jason said, that committee is kind of just, they're not organized. They have a president, they don't have any other officers,
It's a hot mess. Yeah.
Yes.
No problem.
And he doesn't really want to fight the battle alone.
Alright, the moratorium review, discuss. Very quickly. I don't think we
In
did,
your
I
file.
don't think we did,
I don't have it.
we didn't do it, so,
I'm sorry.
no, that's alright. So Tony Roderick wants to go back on that piece of land on Arch Street. And he wants to go back to, you know, the water main and the houses and all that, blah, 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 so we're going all
Up by
back
the
there.
tank, up by the tank.
That's Elm, yeah, past that, you know, the dead end that we, remember we stopped them last time with the whole.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Well, anyway, so the moratorium, so basically, he has to follow the moratorium, which is, obviously, he has to put wells in, he has to pay for the infrastructure.
Mhm.
He wants to put the pipe in the ground, I guess, and not hook it up, which that's not gonna happen. He's gonna pay the tap-in fee, he's gonna put the water main in.
Mhm.
He has to pay the $10,000 per house fee.
Mhm.
And then once we lift, hopefully we lift the moratorium, the houses have to get tied into us.
Yeah.
So, we can't stop him, that's the new moratorium, but he has to follow all those rules before he can continue.
What's the timeline on him tapping in? Just after we lift
He has 12 months
12 months?
to tap into us once we lift the moratorium, which we keep the money in escrow, so it's all paid for by him.
Okay.
So if he sells the house, whatever, we have the money,
Okay.
because we can't force the new homeowner to encumber that cost.
I mean, yeah,
So-
that's fine. I mean, it is
And that's what
it
we do on all new developments.
Yeah.
If we do the one, whatever, the new one going in town, it's the same thing,
is. So
so.
what would happen, okay, go, that's fine. So,
So there's 3 houses.
So he wants to put 3 houses, so he's gonna come up with
30,000.
30 grand, plus the main, plus the tap-in fee, so all that comes.
Or just do wells. Or
He
just
has
do-
to put a well in
Still gotta do
anyway.
that.
Right.
He has to put the well in, but he still has to pay us,
Okay.
so,
And that moratorium's probably gonna stay in place until.
A while.
Until we get the well.
correct.
Right.
Yep.
Alright, so we can let him know. And then he can't just, and he's not gonna just put the water main in the ground too, he's gonna pay the tap-in fee and he's gonna make that live. Cause obviously, I don't know where the hydrants are, if he has to put in hydrants,
He's gonna put in 100, he said.
Yeah,
It's
so-
300 feet and 1 hydrant.
so that has to be heated up anyway. So he has to submit plans and all that, I would imagine.
I would assume, like I said, I've only been here for 1
Yeah.
main extension.
I'm sure he has to have something that our engineers can go over, if we gotta tell him what pipe to put in the ground and,
Yep, it's in the rules.
yep, it's a little rigs. Alright, next meeting of Board of Commissioners is July 12th, if that works, we can always talk about it later.
July?
January, July, yeah.
We're going on-
I need a break.
Lenny, we're taking a 6-month break.
Alright, January 12th till the 5th. I don't know what works for you guys, we
Alright.
can talk about it later.
That, my phone's up in
Okay,
the
so
car.
don't worry about it,
Okay.
yeah. Alright, public input, there is none. Alright, is there a motion to go on executive session of the provisions of chapter 38, section A3?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, hearing none, all those in favor?
Alright.
We will not be coming back into open session.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Appreciate it, you too.
Alright, we'll see you on Main Street, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I haven't heard any deals